Hi guys, this is Mistletoe Navi, and I'm here to give some questionable opinions on Final Fantasy XIV job design. I recently got recommended a video by Kaitsu Chaiji about giving each job one improvement, and I thought it'd be fun to do my own version. I did not watch their video, however, as to not sway my own ideas at all, so any similarities are completely coincidental. Great minds might possibly think alike, or something like that. First, to establish the rules. There'll be nothing that is as simple as gain this ability sooner, or raise the potency on this move. All of these have to be substantial enough to affect how you might play the job, even if it's just a minor change, but also not so major that it borders on a job rework. Additionally, some of these changes would have to coincide with potency changes for balancing, but that probably goes without saying. With all that in mind, let's begin. Okay, before we start going job by job, here's a universal change I really want to see. You know how you have 30 seconds before a combo falls off? Yeah, make it 35. It'd be a little bit of ease on jobs like Paladin and Machinist, and make Double and Shroud on Reaper way less of a gamble, especially for those with higher ping. We'll start with tanks, probably my most played role. Paladin. Pretty simple change here, as Paladin's already in a fantastic spot right now. However, Acquiesca stacks increase Clemency's potency again. This will definitely lose a lot of utility once you hit level 90, but for level 70 to 80 content, looking at you, Eureka and Bosnia, it could definitely be incredibly helpful in certain situations. Warrior. I'm not the only one who thinks Primal Wrath only being an inner release is kind of boring, right? Make all fellow Cleaves and Decimates give you a stack of Burgeoning Fury. Primal Wrath would still be used at 3 stacks. Additionally, Inner Chaos and Chaotic Cyclone would have to grant a Burgeoning Fury stack, otherwise it would be a game to click off your Nascent Chaos buff. Dark Knight. Alright, you likely already know how I feel about Dark Knight and how it needs to be reworked and blah blah, Dark Arts, blah blah blah. Anyway, I'm pulling this change for my rework. Get rid of TBN's mana cost, and untie it from Edge and Flood of Shadow. The shield is the same, but when it breaks, whoever it was on gets a large cure. Gunbreaker. Gunbreaker, like Paladin, is in a fantastic spot right now. However, I have to say the camouflage is a little underwhelming. How about if, when you take damage, you restore a little bit of the damage that you took in HP? Next up is the melees, housing my main. Monk. Okay, I'm gonna out myself as a classic Final Fantasy fan here, and say that Monk should have a counter of some sort. Why not lower the cooldown of Riddle of Earth, and if you take damage from any source, you'll counter the enemy you're targeting with an auto attack. Obviously, Earth Supply would have to be weakened to make up for this. Dragoon. Mirage Dive is kind of pointless these days. How about we ditch it? Sorta. I think Mirage Dive should be a follow-up to Dragonfire Dive that upgrades into Rise of the Dragon. If they're so concerned about packed bursts, it'd take out an extra button press in your Life of the Dragon at higher levels, while still not abandoning it totally at lower levels. And since we're taking something out of the burst, give us back our 3 Nastron stacks, thank you very much. It'd be a middle ground between Dawntrail launch and current Dragoon. Ninja. Revert to Trick and Mug change from Endwalker. I've never heard a soul say, boy, I sure am glad Ninja's just another 2-minute job now. Additionally, swap the levels you learn Dokumori and Kunai's Bane. Since the latter would be the raid buff, it'd be nice to have it in AoE form at level 66. Samurai, my main. I miss Hisatsu Kaiten every day, man. Bring it back, and make it a level 100 ability with a 55-second cooldown and a cost of 20 Kenki that upgrades Madara and Tenka into their Tendo versions. Zantian's Kenki would have to be lowered to 25 to compensate for this. Reaper. Super simple one here. Just make Perfectio give 10 soul gauge. Harp and Harvest Moon giving 10 gauge helps tremendously for Double and Shroud now, but you're still losing 10 gauge every 2 minutes from replacing a 1-2-3 with Perfectio as is. Viper. Noxious Nash. That's it, just bring it back. That's all I care about. That's the melees. Time for the casters. And I don't mean Fisher. Black Mage. Just about everyone's been asking for this, so they should make your Astral Soul stack stick around when you go into Ice Phase. It'd make your opener feel less bad since, as is, you have to switch to Ice Phase with your Astral Gauge at 4, I think? You get the point. Summoner. Listen, this job is in dire straits. It'd take a massive overhaul to make it anything other than not good at best. That being said, I think Dawntrail somehow made it even worse than Endwalker. I think Bahamut should upgrade straight into Solar Bahamut. Having Phoenix's party regen and single target heal once every 4 minutes is really stupid. Though there would be some degree of irony in making your odd minute window bursts stronger at level 80, just to make even windows stronger at 100 again. Red Mage. Okay, this one's kind of a hot take. I'm gonna say it, and you're gonna think I'm absolutely insane, and then I'll say the rest of it, and you'll hopefully be like, well, that's not so bad. Ready? Make Vice of Thorns a follow-up to Resolution. But it's still no GCD. It'd function much like Paladin's Blade of Honor. I just think using this cool-looking ability once every 2 minutes is a bit sad. Pictomancer. I had to scrape the bottom of the barrel for this one, as I think Pictomancer is a very well-designed job, even if its balancing is a total disaster. Combine Holy in White and Comet in Black into a single transforming button. You're never thinking, oh man, do I have a Comet in Black instead of a Holy in White right now? So there's no point in having them separate when they do the exact same thing in your rotation, just one has a higher potency. You could also say the same about the Subtractive Palette combo, I suppose, but that feels less egregious. We're casting the casters out and moving on to the Fizz range now. Bard. The Dawntrail change I thought was simultaneously really nice and really boring was to Barrage. In Endwalker, Drifting Barrage was more commonplace, as you didn't want to overwrite your Hawk's Eye proc for Refulgent Arrow. But in Dawntrail, you don't have to worry about that anymore because the Barrage buff counts as a second Hawk's Eye now. There's nothing inherently wrong with this, but it is a little boring as you don't have to think about if you already have your proc anymore. So, to this I say that we revert Barrage to how it functioned in Endwalker, but now its cooldown is 110 seconds. This way, you still have to think about not overriding your proc, but drifting becomes less of an issue. Machinist. Not much to this one. Just make Wildfire and auto-crit with splash damage. Machinist is already suffering in terms of damage anyway, so the crit would be nice, but also its AoE is not doing so hot, so its big damage button being AoE would be nice. Side note, can you make auto-crossbow also affect your checkmate and double-check cooldowns like Blazing Shot? Please? Dancer. Dancer's in a great spot right now, so all I have for it is a small quality of life change. It'd be nice if you could use other OGCDs while dancing. It wouldn't be optimal to use them during a dance, obviously, as the step cooldowns are so short that you'd clip, but it would be helpful for emergencies or if you forget to dance partner someone before hitting standard step. Last, and maybe least depending on who you ask, are the healers. White Mage. Divine Caress is probably the worst level 100 ability, so I decided to make it the worst by a slightly lesser margin. The barrier would last 30 seconds now, so you'll have a full minute of leeway after using Temperance for Divine Caress to be useful now. Scholar. You ever find yourself seeing a raid-wide cast bar going off and thinking, oh, I could put my shields up? So you cast Consultation, and the shields go up after the raid-wide's already gone out. To ease on reacting to cast bars a little bit, I'd make Adloquium and Consultation have a 1.5 second cast time. Astrologian. So, when I was writing down my ideas, I said I'd like Astro to lean more into the Time Mage identity, like in Final Fantasy V. I was thinking, well, maybe some sort of time dilation ability that extends buffs? Lo and behold, that actually existed before Shadowbringers. And it was literally called Time Dilation. I think it'd be pretty cool if they brought it back and made it a skill that slightly extends all of the non-damage buffs the Astro has applied for the whole party. Want to extend your regen but don't want to cast Helios Conjunction? No problem. Sage. For our final job is something kind of anticlimactic. Remember Dawntrail Media Tour? Remember how Eucrasian Dosis and Eucrasian Dyscrasia stacked and how people like that? Yeah, let's bring that back. That's it. And with that, I am probably public enemy number 1. Let me know if you agree with any of these, or if you think I should be shot on sight in the comments. Thanks guys, take care and have a good one.